What's up everybody, my name is Anis, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first ever Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. In this video we're going to take a look at how to set up a brand new project with Unreal Engine 5 as well as do a UI overview and take a look at all the new UI features and the changes from Unreal Engine 4. So let's jump right in. So the first thing to do if you want to use Unreal Engine 5 is to download the Epic Games Launcher if you don't have it, and then come to the UE5 tab. If you do not see the UE5 tab in here, just click on settings. You will have an update and restart in here. You click that, the launcher will restart, and then you will see the UE5 tab in here. You can download the early access of the engine from here, and if you are interested, there's also the Valley of the Ancient sample project that is available. Though this is over 100 gigabytes, so maybe not everyone will want to download this. Once you have downloaded the early access of the engine, you can come back to library and you will see it in here. And you can launch that. So once you launch the engine, you have the Unreal project browser, the new one actually. Here we can see that Epic Games are branching out to multiple industries, which is a very good thing because every industry will bring some innovation and some investments into the engine. But for what's interesting to us, we will click games. And here we can see the templates that we have. Let's create a third-person blueprint project. We will name this UE5 tutorial. Let's create. So the engine is loading. Project loading and engine start time are really good compared to Unreal Engine 4. So I think there have been a lot of optimizations behind the curtain. New plugins are available. Let's dismiss this and let's update this. Okay, so let's take a look at the new UI. The top drop-down menus are almost the same as before, except for the packaging options that used to be here in File. Now they are moved under Platform. The rest is almost the same. So in Edit, we have our settings in here, the editor preferences, the project settings, and our plugins. Under Window, we have the different windows for the tools that the engine has. Under Tools, we have our tools and our debugging tools. Under Build, we have the options to build different things for the game, so the lighting, the reflections, geometry, etc. And under Help, we have our documentation, our API reference, our tutorials, and some other things. For the new toolbar that we have in here, now we have under the Create button, we can create a lot of things that are needed for games. So we can create new lights, we can create shapes, we can add volumes, and we can also access the different classes that we have in our game. Under Content, we can display the different content browsers. We can have up to 4, as it was with Unreal Engine 4. And we can also open the Marketplace and the Quixel Bridge directly from here. The blueprint menu is the same as before. We can create a new blueprint. We can open the level blueprint if we want, and then we can configure the game mode for the project settings and for the world override, which is the game mode, but just for the map that we are currently using. Then we have a new cinematic menu to create a level sequence or a master sequence. We have our different editing modes in here. So the default mode is the select editing, where we can select objects, move them, and move the camera in the world. We have the landscape editing mode, where we can configure and create a landscape if we want. We have the foliage editing mode, where we can bring assets, drag and drop them in here, and we can configure the brush size and the paint density, and we can paint our foliage in our map. And then we have our mesh painting mode, we have our fracture for destruction, and we have our brush editing mode. So for now, let's stay in the select editing mode, and let's keep on going. So right next to that, we have the play button. If we hit it, well, we jump into the game and we can play the game. If we hit escape, we can get out of that. Just next to it, we have the different options. So if we want to start our plane editor in a different window, we can click that and it starts the game in a different window. The multiplayer options have moved now under this net mode. So we can set the number of players in here, and here we can play as a standalone, play as a server, or play as a client. As I said before, the packaging options now are under platforms in here. So this is where we can just come and package our project for Windows or for a different platform. And right next to that, we have our new settings button that displays the world settings and also the project settings and the plugins that we have under edit in here, and some additional settings in here for quick access. One of the main differences between Unreal Engine 4 and 5 is the new content browser that is now under a drawer. So the shortcut is Control Space. We can show and hide the content browser. We can also duck it if we want the same look as Unreal Engine 4, but I do prefer the new way of doing things because it saves a lot of screen space. In here, we have our different tabs. So the world outliner is the same as before. It displays all the actors and all the meshes and everything that is in our world. So if we click something, it selects it in here. Our details panel under it shows all the details of this selected object, so as it was before. And here we have two new tabs. So world partition, that used to be under world outliner, but I just put it next to it, is where we will handle our large worlds that are partitioned automatically by the engine. So we will take a look at that in a future tutorial, as well as data layers, which is a new way of organizing the actors in your level by just putting them in different data layers. And this is what we saw in the Valley of the Ancient demo, where Echo, the character, moved from the desert scene to the dark world scene where she fights this boss. Well, it looked like they loaded a new level when she traveled from the desert to the dark world, but actually it was just a switch of data layers. They just switched the data layers and the entire map completely changed. So this is a very interesting feature. We will take a look at that with word partition in a future tutorial. We have small but very interesting change in here. We have the command line that is directly accessible in here, so we can write our commands directly in here. We can also quickly access it by hitting the tilde key. The tilde key is the key just under the escape button, or left to the 1 button. And let's look at some editor preferences, some new preferences that we have. So we directly land in appearance, and as you can see here, the active theme is set to dark. And now we can change themes. So if I click in here, I can duplicate this theme and I can change it. So let's, for example, make a purple theme to go with the Polygon Hive channel. So let's change this, and let's change the window borders as well. And let's name this Hive. So just click this and OK. And we have a new theme. Doesn't look really good, so I'm just gonna switch back to the dark theme. Maybe I will spend some time and make a special theme for the channel and for the tutorials, but I will do that on my free time. Another thing that I recommend is taking a look at the keyboard shortcuts in here. There are shortcuts for everything, so it will depend on your workflow and on your role on the project, but you can easily find some things in here that you can configure on shortcuts and that will make your workflow much more efficient. There's something that I looked for but didn't find, so maybe if Epic Games are listening or watching this video, I would really love to have shortcuts to display things that are hidden in the sidebar. So for example, if I put my data layers in here, I would really love to hit, for example, Control-Shift-D and just show the data layers drawer. This is something that I would really love to see. I haven't found it yet. Maybe it's already in the engine, but I didn't look in the right place. But if you guys are watching, that would be an awesome feature. It would make this new UI style much more complete. So yeah, all the things that are in here, we can collapse them in the sidebar if we do not need them. And if we need more screen space, so we can just move all these to the sidebar and we can have a huge viewport. And if we want them, we can just right click and restore to put them back. One other feature that I really like is in the editor preferences in here. If you hit if you type in frame rate, you can see that show frame rate and memory. This is deactivated by default, but if you check it, you can see that we have the information of the frame rate and the memory that are in here, which is really nice. So now we do not need to display this in here. And that's it, guys, for this first tutorial. From now on, we're going to jump into more in-detail tutorials. We will be building a new world with Nanite and with word partition and data layers. We will be exploring Lumen and the Lighten, as well as the Game Features plugin, to see how we make gameplay actions as game feature plugins. A lot of good things to come. So, if you like this tutorial, please hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot. If you're interested in Unreal Engine 5 and Unreal Engine 5 tutorials, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. We will be doing a lot of them on this channel. And yeah, as usual, my name is Anas. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.